So I hope you've been invited for the demo, and you joined for a reason to be a DevOps engineer, architect, or a DevOps consultant. Maybe you are already having some knowledge, or you have zero knowledge. Okay. In any case, today's time is really we're struggling with so many tools in DevOps. Okay. And how to integrate them, implement them together. Maybe you have knowledge of some tool, maybe you have no knowledge of any tool, but you must have heard about a lot of tools in DevOps, right? And every day some or the other new tool comes. Now, in AWS there is CDK now for doing automation using TypeScript, right? And more and more tool coming in, it's adding more and more confusion. I'm here to start DevOps from a very scratch and take you all the way to implementing it in your project. I have 11 years of experience in DevOps and cloud computing, and I have a lot of ideas that I implement in the project, and the same ideas I try to put in the course. I'm certified in various areas in DevOps and cloud computing. I'm a Red Hat certified architect with Ansible, OpenStack, Kubernetes, Puppet, Gluster certification. Also certified in AWS, in SOP certification, DevOps, and security specialty. You will see it will reflect in the course as well, where I train you on security concepts also when you use AWS cloud computing. In my distance paths, I've done other certification like VMware, RSC, Python, and also DevOps Foundation. So my knowledge is divided into these 4 areas. I do lots of DevOps, cloud computing, scripting, and one of my major skill is collaboration, collaborating tools, people together and bring them on same board. So we can have a DevOps lifecycle. And today's demo is going to be more focusing on what is DevOps lifecycle, how it's start, what are the problems that comes in, and then what all you need to know in order to set up a DevOps lifecycle. Right? I hope by today's, once the demo completes, you'll have a crystal clear understanding of what is DevOps, what would be your role, and what all you need to know to get into this stream. It's all about my passion, because I always wanted to share things. I used to train people freely initially in organizations. Then that's how I came over here. So I implement, I share, I implement, I share. So it's not like part-time work for me. We have also yesterday launched one of our new product, DevOps Projects. I will share you the link, share the link with you. You can check that. This new product is for existing DevOps engineers, my students who or would have done DevOps course from somewhere else. Lots of DevOps projects we have where you can practice and master your skills. Okay. If you still have doubts of why you should learn DevOps, or maybe someone told you, you must have some reason of why you are here. Okay, but I'll give you 3 good reasons why you should really learn DevOps. Is it really worth for your career? So you have to understand, whenever a new technology comes in, you have to look, how many people are talking about it. The big companies, the big organization. If you check Forbes, Business Insider, you will see it's one of the top skills the employers are looking. Okay, so big organizations, small startups, mid-size, everybody are looking for DevOps engineers today. And that is the reason why it's one of the highly paid job. And it's as per the survey. You can check Indeed, Glassdoor, you can post a question on Quora, or you can check in the pay scale also. Like, of course, at the end of the day or at the end of the month, the money matters, the salary matters, right? So it's also one of the highly paid jobs. So why all this? The top two, the 2 reason is because of the 3rd reason actually. See, it's been a long time, we've been developing softwares, and from a long time, the IT industry is divided into 2 zones, you can say, development and operations, where the developer tries to create new softwares with new features, and the operations team try to deliver it. And in middle of this, there is a huge confusion, this huge wall of confusion, which is making the software delivery slow. Doesn't matter how good you are in developing a software, but if you are not able to deliver it to the user, you don't make money. It's as simple as that, right? So if you solve this delivery problem, this logistics problem, then as fast you're developing the softwares and its feature, the same pace you can deliver it also. So you make money at a rapid pace. That's what DevOps is there for. Okay, so DevOps solves this very problem of delivering and this logistics problem of the softwares. And that's the reason everybody wants to have a DevOps engineer on board so they can help drive this change. Okay, so in today's time in IT industry, almost everyone needs DevOps. It doesn't matter whether you're doing data science, machine learning, some amount of code that needs to be delivered to the servers, to the users. Okay, and to to streamline that delivery, DevOps will be the apt choice. Okay, so people ask me, can we do DevOps in machine learning? Can we do DevOps in big data? Can we do DevOps databases? Wherever there is a code, wherever there is a delivery, you can implement DevOps, and you will understand that today by the end of the demo. So why me? There are so many courses out there. I do DevOps every day. Implement, train people, implement, train, share. Okay, so I do it every day. I've trained thousands of people in DevOps, right, from the very scratch, where they were, they did not have any idea about DevOps. My main focus or main USP of my course or also my projects is I focus on real-time implementation. Our course will be like this. I will show you a task. This is the task you may need to do, and then how to implement that task by using XYZ service or XYZ tool or XYZ scripting. Okay, so main focus will be on real-time implementations. I'll teach you how you can excel in software delivery, not just learn a tool and do some automation, but the complete software delivery lifecycle. Okay, so I'll show you how there are different methodologies that different organization uses, big tech companies, to deliver their product. Okay, you may be already having some experience of tools in DevOps, but when it comes to complete lifecycle, you need to know how to integrate technologies together. Okay, so our other focus of the course will be not just learning tool, but also integrating these tools and technologies together. Right? By the end of the course, you would have integrated every tool and technology that we have learned. And I've put a lot of efforts in creating the code, this practicals, projects, documentation, scripts. I also guide you through the interview question throughout the course, and also at the end of the course, also you'll get set of interview questions. So you have really a lot of materials to practice. Okay, also I'm very passionate about learning. It's not just a training course. I'm into training field in various areas through video courses, portal, corporate trainings. So now if I have bragged about it, I have made my point clear, then let's now understand what exactly is DevOps. I know you must have your own definition of DevOps, and that's all fine. Okay, but evaluate that by the end of the demo. Okay, so there are so many explanations. People think it's about scripting and automation. If it's just about scripting and automation, people, then I have been doing automation from the beginning of my career. Okay, I know we used to write bash script and batch script, but there was no such thing as DevOps then. Some people say DevOps is about cloud computing. You're using cloud computing, then you're doing DevOps. Okay, partially right, partially wrong. Actually, totally wrong. Right? You'll understand that in a moment. DevOps is about culture. You must have heard about it, right? Integrating developers and operations. But if it's just about a culture, then why we are learning so many tools? Yeah. So then it's about tools. What tools? Well, at some places you are right, some places you are wrong. In total you are wrong, right? If you have this myths. So I will get that clarified for you. So let's set some stage first. Okay. In order for you to understand DevOps, you need to understand the background, the history, where we have come from in the IT industry. Okay. We're going to talk about first software lifecycle. Everything begins with a good idea, great idea of a product. Instagram was an idea, Twitter was an idea, Facebook was an idea, right? Flipkart was an idea, Amazon was an idea. Everything began with some idea, right, of a product that needs to be developed. Okay, let's say there is a mobile app. Actually, I have created a animated video for this one. I'll send you the link. You can watch that video to understand DevOps in an animated way, like a story way. I've taken pictures from that video itself. So I'll send you the link. You can watch that video also later. So there is, let's say you yourself, okay, you have an idea of probably creating a mobile app to sell some product online, e-commerce. Okay. So that's a great business today. Mobile apps, have a business, have a mobile app. It's, as common as that nowadays. But when you have this idea, you may not have people who can do this, these developers, the testers, the system admin, all these people, right? So you may either hire all these people and start your own product development, or you can approach a software consulting firm, okay, and explain them your idea, right, about the product. Let's understand the concept, how this happens, right, from the idea to a product. The software development process is a very well-defined and organized process. There's protocols, everyone do their job, and finally at the end of the day, you get the product which you can deliver it to the customer. Okay? The first step begins with requirement gathering requirement from the customer, from the systems, right? What all you need to develop, what are you creating actually? So you have a list of features that you're developing and list of technologies, people. So requirement gathering is done in the first step. There are specialized people, business analysts, and few other people who helps in creating the requirements. Then based on the requirement, the planning starts. What we need to do based on this requirement, what will be the cost, how much resource we need, what are the risks. That's in the second phase. Third phase is about designing it. Okay, from that requirement, from that planning, you create design architects, software architects, DevOps architects, right? Operations architect. They will create design documents. The development has not yet started. This is designing phase, like an architect, house architect, right, who designs or the 3D views and all, right? You must have seen those things. Like that, we have architects in IT industry who design these things. Based on that design, okay, you get design documents, architectural designs, and based on that, the developer will have a clear-cut picture what they're doing. Okay, then the developer will start developing the product. This is where the code and all those things, the technologies comes in. Okay, they'll write hundreds and thousands of lines of code to create the product. The software ready or partially it's ready. Software testers, the next phase are going to test your product, its features. Okay, they're going to try to find any defects, load testing, functional testing. There are different kinds of testing that will be performed. Okay, and if this checks out fine, then it goes to the deployment phase where the product will be delivered or deployed to servers, cloud computing, VMs, users. Okay, it will be deployed. So the operations team, admins, different kinds of admins, DCO, system admins, cloud computing engineers will work together in deploying and making sure it's up and running. Right? So then it will be responsibility of the operations team. There'll be site reliability engineers, monitoring team. They'll be continuously looking into the up, and making sure everything is up and running. Right? And then there will be regular changes and uptime. Some bug fixes, user requirement. Deploying some new features. Right? The product. If you think about let's say Instagram or Facebook, Twitter, anything, you see there are changes happening over the period of time. Right? And some in the background which you don't even know. So regular changes and also uptime. That's maintenance. Okay, systems health. And deploying the regular changes. Let's see this in a cyclic view. Okay, so first you have the requirement gathering, planning. Architects are going to design the product. Developers are going to develop product from the design. Testers are going to test it, the software testers. Operations team will deploy and make sure it's up and running. And then any new changes, same cycle. Okay. This is called as SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. If you're from an engineering background, you must have heard about this or read it, or maybe answered question in the exams, or later also when you learned any technology. SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. And there are different models in SDLC. You have Waterfall Model, Agile, Spiral, Big Bang, and a few other. We are going to compare differences between Waterfall and Agile because Agile is actually the mother of DevOps, the one who created DevOps, you can say. The requirement came from Agile actually. But from a long time, we've been using Waterfall. If you're not sure about this SDLC, right? So these are, think of them, like a different route to reach the same destination, and you select a route based on the cost, based on the risk, based on the time. Different factors will help you decide which route you will take to reach the destination. Right? So these SDLC different models are different route to reach the same destination, which is the product. And in our case, we have taken example of a mobile app. Waterfall model. Waterfall model works in phases. First is requirement gathering. Once this completes, okay, focus on my words here. I'm going to use the word like complete, everything, all at once. Okay, focus on this. Once the requirement gathering completes, everything is done, then it moves to the design phase. It is called as waterfall because this is full, then it goes to the next level, right? The architects are going to design everything keeping in mind what the product developer product will look like. Scoping for the future, they're going to design the product. Okay, completely everything will be designed, and then it will be moved to the implementation phase. This is where the developers will come in. Even you will need system admins which will help setting up the systems, right? So things will be implemented here. The developers will develop the product. Once everything is ready, all of the entire product is ready, then it goes to the testing phase. The testers are going to test the entire product, look for defects, load, different kinds of parameters. Once the testing completes, checks out fine, then it goes to the maintenance phase, right, where it will be deployed, and users will start using it, and there will be regular maintenance. Right? This is waterfall model. Now you have to remember, in waterfall model, the next phase will begin only when the previous phase is completed. In this waterfall model, you cannot accommodate changes. If you're already in the development phase, then the new requirements are coming up over there. It will be difficult to accommodate that. Okay, so you can't go back here, reverse. You can't go back in time and make the changes. And the software will be developed when testing is completed, right? So you have to wait for this entire process to complete, then only you have a software ready to be used. Okay, and this could be divided into much further modules and all. Okay, I'm just talking about very high level view, right? And today's time is about regular changes, continuous changes. Users are demands are very high nowadays. When you go for a product development, think about, do you have the complete idea of everything? You're not sure about all the requirements. You'd like to observe how it's happening and maybe alter new requirements. So there is regular changes, okay, regular alters. So waterfall model is a no-go for such kind of product. Okay, I'm not saying waterfall is bad for everything, but today's time is more about quick changes. Okay, so in our case, in mobile app we're developing, waterfall is not really a great idea. So instead of developing everything at once or testing everything at once, you can divide it into smaller list. Okay, divide it. So all the requirement will be divided into smaller list, and this list will be worked out for 2 to 4 weeks. Right, so in 2 to 4 weeks, you're going to develop on some such, develop, test, and deploy some set of features. Once that is done, you move to the next iteration, then next iteration. So it's iterative, and that is the best approach. And this SDLC is called as Agile. Agile is iterative. Waterfall works in phases. Okay, so 2 to 4 weeks, developers, testers, admins, everyone will work together, hopefully, and they'll develop some list of features, and then it can be demonstrated to the customer that, hey, this is how your product is looking now with this many features. What do you think? And the customer will be like, you know what, I want to make this changes. I don't want this one, so then these changes can be accommodated in the next iteration. So you don't need to here go back in time. You can do that in the next iteration. So features will change. By the time the product is ready, so many things would have changed. This is called as Agile SDLC. The meaning of Agile, if you must have seen, read somewhere, Agile means quick, right? Quick. So quick development. Right? So any requirement, any new altering, any requirement, it can be implemented in the next iteration. Right? And the most important thing that is happening over here is when the development is happening, they're getting feedback from the customer or maybe from a real user. Right? So once everything is done and then you get lots of feedback, it will be difficult to incorporate that. Okay, when you're testing everything at once in waterfall, there'll be so many bugs, so many defects that needs to be resolved, right? So waterfall is very bulky, difficult to go back, difficult to do all at once. So in agile, things are divided, right? So let's say the development started with agile model, right? So every day there will be new code changes, and this code will be built on a build server. A build is a process from where the code is converted to really a product. Developer will test it in their local environment first, and then if they find that this particular build is good, it will be promoted to the next level, probably staging area, not production. A test, QA, UAT, different environments are there, not production. And in staging area, so many tests will be conducted. Once this test checks out fine, then it will be promoted to production environment. Okay, so build and deploy process. This happens very regularly in agile. But so many times, when it's deployed to staging environment, the testers are not able to access or perform their test. Things fails, right? And which result into the conflict of operations and development team. Failed deployment is the complaint from the development team. Operations team will say, hey, you have given the steps, we follow exactly same, and it's we deployed it, right? So this happens regularly. Moreover, somehow that is fixed and it promoted to the production level. So many times the production or deployment also fail. Okay, and that is a big problem if it's failing at the production. If it's failing at non-prod, it's only about time. But if it's failing about in the production, it's about the business, the money, right? Why things are failing. The operations team, you have to understand, deploys the product as per the instructions. Okay, and they're going to assume that if it's worked in the test environment, will work in the production environment, right? But these two environments, prod and non-prod, are different. Most of the time, to save money, the non-prod environments are small, less data, right? And no security, not proper networks. It's different than production. Both environments are not different. So if it's working in test environment, it's not a guarantee it's going to work in production environment. Okay. And new tools, new development tools and process are making things faster. Developers are using agile, new technologies. Their development has become very fast, but the operation team is not able to cope up with regular changes. Why? I'll explain you that in the next slides. Why operations are not able to cope up. Production server also needs some tweaks, okay, like at the database level, at the network level, at the security level, some tweaking needs to be done, which the developers will be not sure, and they don't give those instructions, and the operations team just deliver it as it's working in the test environment. Okay, in short, we can say there are no clear instructions to the operations team. Okay. Now you have to understand, agile is the current time and requirement. Quick changes, so there will be regular code changes. One iteration, there will be so many code changes, and every code change you need to deploy it to pre-prod environment, test it. The QA team is going to test all those things, and this happens again and again and again and again, every day, many times in a week, many times in a month, right? If the build and deployment process is manual, it will be slow. There will be chances of human error, many human errors that happens, okay, which can lead to long delivery times. Too many deployments, operations team is not able to handle it because operation team is still waterfall. Developers have become agile, but operation is still slow, and that's because of they have a very different mindset. Their goals are very different than of a developer. Okay, their main focus is on production systems, one thing, where it's driven by ITL process. Everything needs to be evaluated before you make any serious change. Okay, one single change in production may lead to may need to be done in 5 days, 6 days. Okay? It's time consuming process, and they're getting regular deployment requests. There are no clear instruction. They're already occupied with keeping the system up and running, and they are ITIL driven. ITIL. Okay, it's a process of making changes to the real systems, which is slow, like a office work, like a government office work. Think about it. Okay. this is happening, but customer is really suffering in this. Customer maybe wants to see the next demo, but operation team is failing to deliver it. Okay, and the project heads are, have passed the deadlines so many times because of this, because not able to deliver, failed deployments, cannot show it to the customer. Right, this takes situation in a very different way. Instead of DevOps, this happens to be development versus operations. It used to be like that, development versus operations. You have to understand the mindset of developer and operations. Developers are agile. They want regular and quick changes. Operations, on the other hand, they have the mindset of stability. They're ITL process driven, okay? Stable things, think about it. And if you need something stable, you'll do it, slowly with approvals. And if you're not worked in ITL or operations, think about like in a government office, files passing from here and there, approvals, this approves, that approves, and manual changes, right? So they are ITL driven. These two teams, which are the pillar of the IT organizations, are poles apart. They have different mindsets, right? So this is a very popular saying in in the IT industry, that developer will just toss their code over the wall and operations team has to deal with it, right? That's how operations feel. They have just sent the half-baked code as, because when we deploy it doesn't work. So developers complain that this takes very long time to deploy the new changes, and operations team complain that they give us the half-baked code, we deploy it, it does not work. It's not our problem. So developer thinks it's ops problem, and ops thinks it's a dev problem. Remember, customer is suffering in this. Okay, a customer suffering means business loss. Long back, it's been a decade actually now. There was a guy called us, there is a guy called us Patrick DeBois, sorry. There was an Agile conference, and he has delivered a seminar over there to talk about, that development has become agile. When the Agile movement started, this all problems started coming in a year or 2 year. So he talked about, how development has become agile, but the operation is still waterfall, it's still slow. Okay, still slow. If you want efficiency, if you want faster delivery, then you need to include DevOps, combination of development and operations. Okay, and that's where really the DevOps movement started. What really is DevOps? We understood the problem now. Okay, now it will be easier for you to understand the solution. So you rope in a DevOps consultant or DevOps architect. Now this could be you, or you could be working under such people. Okay, the DevOps architect or DevOps consultant. Their job is to bring all the parties together first making sure the communication is enabled between development and operation. Both parties has to understand each other. Okay, to resolve any conflict, both parties needs to talk first of all, right? Communicate, collaborate, work together collaboratively, also collaborate with their tools, and then finally integrate everything together. How that happens, we'll see that. Okay, these are not just some fancy words. This really mean a lot. If you cannot enable communication, collaboration, and integration, there is no DevOps. Doesn't matter you're using cloud computing, automation, Ansible, Terraform, doesn't matter what you're using for automation. If you don't have this, there's no DevOps. So development team needs to understand the operations, that here operation systems, needs to be, the systems needs to be stable. There is stability in the operations area. The operations needs to understand that you need to have agility. Fast deployment should happen. So both parties needs to understand with each other. So you could be a person who can bring this change, or you could be working under such people. Okay, when a DevOps movement start in an organization, there'll be these things happening. So many meetings and collaborative, events and all those things happening. You'll be part of it. Okay, that's the start of the story. Okay, but the main plot is about automation. Yes, of course. Everything that needs in the delivery life cycle needs to be automated. Developer makes a code change. There's so many things that happens. They build in different versions. They deploy to staging environment. The software testing will be done. The DB changes will be done. There's so many teams working together and taking a lot of steps before production, promoting it for production. So all those steps needs to be automated. Okay, so many steps: code build process, code testing process, software testing process, infrastructure changes. Like if we talk about cloud computing, making some firewall changes automatically, security group changes in AWS, okay, automatically, um, or making, upgrading a new version of some tool, right? Any infrastructure changes needs to be automated. Deployments, the developer has developed a product, or make some new changes. This needs to be then deployed automatically to this infrastructure. Everything needs to be automated. Okay, and that's where you can say this is the second part. First part is communication, enabling communication and collaboration, then automating each and everything, and finally comes the integration of the tools. Okay, so parties have to work together. Again, either you will bring that change, or you'll be working under such people who will bring those changes, and you will help in doing lots of automation, integration, and collaboration. Sorry, collaboration and integration. Okay, so meet no, not this slide, move next. Yeah, so meet the team. Okay, so we have testers, developers, build and release team who are responsible in building the softwares and delivering it, system admin in charge of the operations, database admins, and any such team. These are examples of, generally we have team, but you could have more sub teams also. They all have to work together for the code delivery. Everything needs to be automated. Okay, and finally needs to be integrated together. Okay, remember there are so many things. This is just for the sample: code build, code testing, software testing, infrastructure changes, deployment. If you're asking me that what will I be doing being a DevOps, will I be automating software testing also? No, you will be not automating everything. Okay, you'll be automating infrastructure changes, deployments, maybe code testing, code build process. But there's so many other things that needs to be automated by the team itself. Like you need to have automation test engineers, right? Automation, DB deployment should be automated. So many other things will be also automated. You have to also integrate finally everything together. Okay, and you need to get the DevOps lifecycle. Okay, so everyone worked together and created a DevOps lifecycle. Let's see what is a DevOps lifecycle. So all the steps that you need for delivering the product will be in the lifecycle integrated together. First, the developer makes a code change, commits, okay, maybe pushing it to some repository. There should be a code build process that should be automated. Okay, code build process is automated, and then code test process, unit test, integration test has to be automated. Code analysis, any vulnerabilities, scanning, all those kinds of analysis has to be done again automatically. Delivering the code or the code changes to the systems delivery, okay, to the staging environment here we are talking about, needs to be automated. Any DB change, any security change, any kind of change, network change also needs to be automated. Okay, so this is one step at a time, right? So when you integrate everything together, one triggers the other. Developer makes a code change, the code build process starts automatically, then the code test process starts automatically, then code analysis starts automatically, then delivering starts automatically, any changes starts automatically, software testing starts automatically. The software testing will be conducted automatically on test environments, okay, pre-prod environment. Everything checks out fine, that triggers deployment to production. Now deployment to production could be triggered automatically or could be waiting for an approval, but there will be automation definitely to deploy it for production also. But to trigger it automatically or not, that depends on your requirement. Okay, then go live. When you deploy to production, they could be separate production server, then you redirect the user traffic over there by using A/B testing. Different strategies are there: A/B testing, blue-green deployment, right? And you find the users are good with this, then everything goes on. The monitoring teams keep monitoring everything, and this is the entire DevOps lifecycle. Okay, take a moment. I'm gonna mute myself, right? And you just have a look for a moment, and then I'll continue. Okay, so these are different steps. Okay, there could be less or more, depends totally on the requirement. Okay, there is no hard and fast rule, guys, in DevOps. DevOps is not created by any organization or a, community who can set rules or define rules. These things will depend on your requirements and your organization's requirement. Okay, so this can be twisted here and there, but remember, the objective is delivering the code quickly and efficiently. That's the objective. Okay, you can implement different strategies also. Okay, DevOps is called as a continuous life cycle because continuously in an agile moment there'll be continuously code commits, code changes. So it is going to be a continuous process of the entire life cycle, right? Fetch the code from a repository like Git. Then some automation tool like Jenkins can fetch those changes, run some tests, build artifacts. Think of artifacts as just a software, okay? Building the software by using different tools. Okay, depends on, like if you're using going with Java code, there could be build tool as Maven. If you're using Docker containers, then there could be a Docker build process where you'll have Docker images. Okay, tools differ based on the requirement. Okay, so fetch the code, run the test, build the software, and store the software into some repositories. Then any environment level changes, infrastructure level changes will be triggered automatically. Like if you're using AWS, any changes, any new patch, any new instance, any new change, security changes has to be done automatically. Sometimes there is no environment at all. Okay, so this process will create an environment and then deploy your code. There could be an environment where you need to make changes, or there could be no environment. Okay, you should have some code that can automatically do that. Deploying your build or your artifact or your software to different environments, dev, QA, staging. Okay, you can use tools like Ansible, Puppet, Chef, scripts, different automation tool to deploy your code changes. Testers are going to conduct load and functional test automatically, not the testers. You will integrate this in the pipeline, right? And this happens for dev, QA, staging environment, and then finally production environment. The production environment, automatic delivery or not, that depends again on the requirement. Okay, not everyone needs automatic production deployment. Okay, maybe waiting for approval, maybe waiting for the right time. So it really depends. This is a DevOps lifecycle, a continuous process, and this is what your objective should be. It doesn't matter it's a Java code or a .NET code, or you're working in data science, big data, whatever code. Think of any changes as code changes, right? You have code changes, you implement DevOps lifecycle, and this is an automated process, so no human intervention, no ticketing. Can you do this task? Can you do this? I'm waiting for your reply. Like no such kind of things. It's a complete automated process. Developer just makes a code change, everything happens automatically. Okay, this is the objective. One-click deployment we used to call in old times. Now, it's called as a continuous delivery process. So what is the definition of DevOps? Right? So really, I don't go with definitions. In DevOps, go with the objective, what your objective is. Okay, but if you need a definition, I found this on the internet, and I think this is the most apt definition for DevOps. DevOps is a philosophy of unifying development and operations team at culture, practice, and tools level. So guys, it's not just about the culture, it's not just about the practice, it's not just about the tools, it's not just about the automation, it's about everything. But it starts with the culture and agile culture, quick changes. Okay, then you incorporate lot many practices and integrate all the tools integration you have seen. This is one example. Okay, but that's a definition. Your focus should be on the objective. Okay, definition, everything will follow along. All right, so that was about DevOps, and I think I made my point clear. What is DevOps? Now let's talk about the skill set you need to have in order to work in a DevOps environment, in order to pull this DevOps lifecycle. So there are so many systems over there, right? Linux system, Windows system. You should need to have systems knowledge, operating systems knowledge, infrastructure level knowledge, right? network, storage, firewall, how they work together, right? You really don't need to be an expert in a storage and an expert in network, but you should have a broad infrastructure knowledge at least. Cloud computing skills are like de facto default skills nowadays for a DevOps engineer. The reason is pretty simple. uh, Cloud computing gives you APIs, and SDKs. You can use that to automate any changes in cloud computing. So infrastructure changes can be automated. So that's why cloud computing is leveraged a lot in DevOps. And of course, 90% of the IT industry has shifted towards cloud computing. So anyways, you have to deal with cloud computing. You need to have the knowledge of SDLC. This comes much better if you work with developers, or if you're already a developer, then you should already have such kind of knowledge. Okay, build and release automation, which we also call as continuous integration in DevOps. Okay, fetch the code, build the code, test it, store the artifact. Okay, automation of OS tasks is so many OS level changes will be happening. Installing packages, changing files, content, restarting services, bouncing systems. So many steps that happens at the system level. So you need to be very good in automating system tasks, operating system tasks. Orchestration, connecting all these pieces together. Okay, automate everything and finally integrate together, right? So we call it also orchestration, also known as continuous delivery process. I have created nice videos for this continuous integration, continuous delivery. It's on YouTube. I'll send you the link now and you'll understand what is continuous integration, continuous delivery, and we're going to do a lot of continuous delivery project in our course. Network and security knowledge. Okay, network changes, security changes, and today's time containerization. You should be able to work in a container based environment where you may be having Docker or Kubernetes or these kinds of technology. So these are the skill set in today's market that you need to have in order to set up a DevOps lifecycle or to get a job in DevOps. Now you could be working in all the areas or you could be working in some areas in DevOps. Depends on your experience, depends on your requirement, interview, so many factors, right? If you're a DevOps architect or a consultant, or if you're working in a startup, then you need to do all of this. But if you're working in big organization, you may need to be, you would be working in some part of it. But if you're an architect or consultant, then you need to know all of this. What are we going to cover in this course? First of all, I told you that I focus on real-time implementation. So we are using a project. It is a Java code, which is actually social. When you develop and deliver it to the system, it's a social networking site. So we're going to take this. We're going to use this product in our course. Okay, and it has so many services like Nginx, Tomcat, RabbitMQ, Memcache, MySQL, different services. So we'll be taking this as our project, and then we're going to learn different tools and technology and implement and enable the automation and DevOps lifecycle for this product. Okay, so then you will not have problem when you get into real projects. You'll not have problem in understanding how to implement a particular technology. Like you learn Ansible, but then you need to implement it. How do you implement, integrate? Right, so when you work in a project, you already get an experience. So if you have no experience of DevOps, okay, zero experience in DevOps, never worked in DevOps projects, right? So that's a big problem actually when you go for interview. So I'm giving you an opportunity to work in a project. So we're going to take example of this project and we're going to create different automation life cycles. Okay, so the first step in our course is going to be for the people who have come from a non-ops background. Developers, testers, okay, you have never worked in an operations field. So you need to have knowledge on Linux. So in the first step of our course, we're going to learn basics of Linux. We're going to see server management in Linux. We're going to use automation tool like Vagrant. We're going to learn basics of networking. And then we will implement our vProfile project on VMs locally on our machine. Now this first step, this will be like around 8 to 10 days, and here you will get a complete idea and you will be eligible now for the next thing. Okay, just give me a moment guys, one second. Yeah, I know that was more than a second. I just got my tea. All right. So yes, so this is like an eligibility, okay, to get into DevOps. You need to have these kinds of skills. If you don't have, we're going to cover that in the first step of our course. Okay. Oops. Yeah. So we're going to deploy our vProfile project locally. So you'll get good idea on the operations part. Second step, we're going to start cloud computing, AWS. So we're going to learn different AWS services like IAM, EC2, S3, CloudWatch, RDS, autoscaling, Route 53. Once we learn these technologies in AWS, we're going to take our vProfile project and migrate to AWS cloud. Okay, then you will understand how it works in a production environment. You know how we have uh, our infrastructure or our product running on a cloud computing environment. Okay, and also we're going to learn before this we're going to learn bash scripting also. Right. Along with these technologies, we're going to learn few more technologies in AWS. This is first part of AWS, guys. We have two parts of AWS in our course. This is first part. Okay, and more new services we'll try to integrate with. Not try. We will integrate with our project like Amazon MQ, Elastic Cache, okay, EFS, and so many other technologies are there. Step 3, you're going to learn continuous integration. You're going to learn Git, build tools like Maven. So our code is Java, so we are focusing on build tool Maven. We're going to use Jenkins as a continuous integration server. We're going to see how this works as a build server. We're going to see different kinds of jobs in Jenkins, different concepts in Jenkins administration, and we're going to set up a Jenkins continuous integration pipeline. And again, then our vProfile project, we're going to set up continuous integration pipeline, okay, which will look something like this. Okay, and also continuous delivery. A few bonus I have for you is bash scripting. If you have come from an ops background and have no experience on coding, programming, well, in today's time, you really don't need to have a great experience in programming. In DevOps, you have so many tools for automation. But yes, having the skills of programming will always help you in learn automation tool like Ansible, CloudFormation, Terraform, also CDK, which has just come new from AWS. So many automation tools that have they're based on programming. They're not programming languages, but their base is programming. So we're going to cover bash scripting, and we're going to cover Python scripting as much as you need to know to master Ansible and other automation tool. Okay, so if you are, yes, you will get the videos, guys, don't worry. So if you are from an ops background, you don't have hands-on programming, don't worry. You'll have a question, do I need to know scripting? Do I need to learn this before joining the course? Well, we're covering it, okay? And this is bonus from my side, okay? This is really not part of the course. So we're gonna have extra sessions for this one. And if you don't have programming background, you can join. This is optional. If you don't want, you can skip this part also. Step 5, Ansible. Lots of OS automation and cloud automation we're going to learn over here. Okay, and guys, remember, my focus is going to be real time. We have a product, so you need to get into the hood of these tools and do a lot of what I say. You need to have a lot of intelligent work, okay, which I'm going to show you how you're going to do. Okay, so not just going through the tools and you're running some writing some lines of code and saying hello world program. No, we are focusing on deploying our vProfile project. Okay, continuous delivery, continuous integration, DevOps lifecycle for the project. So we need to get serious and get much deeper into this. Okay, we're going to deploy our vProfile entire project by using Ansible. And also cloud computing automation also will see through Ansible. Step 6, AWS comes back, much depth. VPC we're going to cover in depth, log management and custom metrics, command line tools for AWS, DevOps tools like Beanstalk, or also database services like RDS. We're going to set up vProfile project once again on AWS, but this time it's going to be different. This time it's going to be re-architecturing it. Okay, you can really brag about this in your interviews also, at how you re-architecture your product. We're going to see continuous integration, continuous delivery on AWS. Okay, complete AWS services. So no Jenkins and Git and those things, only AWS services. We're going to see different strategies, blue-green deployment, A/B testing, such kind of strategies while we're doing continuous delivery on AWS. Right, so we'll have a project where we're going to do AWS CI/CD. Okay, like this: code commit, code build, code deploy, uh, testing, Sonar Cloud testing, and then deploying it to Beanstalk environment. This is going to be very different what we did in AWS part 1. Okay. Step 7 is containerization. Okay. Really, in today's time, you should definitely have containers on your resume. Okay, Docker, Kubernetes, such kind of things. So we're going to see how we are going to containerize our entire application, and then we're going to use Kubernetes platform to deploy. To set up our vProfile project on for containers. Okay, you'll get these slides, guys. So I don't want to go to each and every point and discuss, because that's going to take a very long time. But you'll get these slides, and we're going to discuss this again when the course starts. There are a few new additions over here, like EKS and stuff, which you're going to see. Okay, I will come back to this if you have any questions on any technology, what we're going to cover and not cover. Okay. Finally, of course, the vProfile project will be deployed on a Kubernetes cluster. So we're going to containerize, create Docker images, and then deliver it to Kubernetes production environment. Okay. So containerization project we'll have, and then we'll have a project we're going to deploy the entire vProfile project to Kubernetes cluster for production. Okay. And continuous integration and continuous delivery for containers, CI/CD for containers. Okay. And I have few other workshop videos, and also I would like you to I also want to introduce our new product. Just a moment. Well, that's me. That's me. Okay, I have put the link in the chat. Okay, this is me. We have launched a new product for DevOps projects. Okay, there are 20 projects. After doing the course, you can practice these projects, and you can brag about this in your interviews, and you can use this same technique in your real-time projects. Okay, there are 20 projects, really amazing project. I have worked very hard to create these. There's a lot of animations and slides and descriptions, and very much in-depth coverage of DevOps tools and technologies for real-time use cases. Okay, but this is not, if you're a beginner, this is not for you. But go through this video, understand the seriousness of our course. If you're already a DevOps engineer, or if you have done a DevOps course somewhere, or if you are my previous student, right, then you can subscribe for this, and you can do this DevOps projects. Yes, 1 second, Shubham, I'm coming to everyone's question. Just a minute. So workshop videos are there, but now you're going to get these videos also. Okay, so I'm almost done. I'm going to open Q&A. Just want to remind you what we're going to cover. The course USP, main selling point of my course is I cover real-time implementations. Okay, that's the serious business. Projects to implement your skills. We have so many projects in the course itself. I'm not talking about the new product. There we have 20 projects. In the course also we have 7 projects that will already give you a taste of real-time experience. Okay, you're going to get a lot of assignments, and we're going to collaborate on Google Classroom. So I'm going to keep giving you assignments also. If you practice these assignments, you will gain much more better experience and knowledge. There are a lot of materials. You don't need to worry about taking notes and struggling here and there. You'll get a lot of material. I have a book also that I have written, Decoding DevOps book. You're gonna get link of that book after this demo. You'll get an email. You'll get the book link. You can download that book. It's free, and a lot of codes and scripts that you're going to get on a regular basis through Google Classroom. Right? And I am done with whatever I have to say. Now I can take your question. So go through the YouTube video link that I have sent you guys. Also subscribe for our channel. We have a lot of amazing videos over there in technologies, which may not be so good for now if you're a beginner, but once you join the course, it will be very helpful. And after the course, it will be when you get stuck anywhere, when you have any problem in your projects, you can use those videos to implement your skills. Okay, so sorry, yeah, I'm done. Now I can take your questions, guys. So first, let me talk about the question. Could you give an overview of the difference and of usage purpose of Ansible and Terraform? Sure, very much. See, Ansible is an automation tool which started for focusing more on system automation. Okay. Just a moment, Yogesh. Sorry. Right. So Ansible, when it started, its focus was on system automation, operating system automation. First, it started for Linux system, and it was, and I consider today is the best automation tool if you talk about operating systems. Okay, it has replaced Puppet and Chef at so many places, so many organizations. I did it personally by myself. Terraform, on the other hand, works more better on a cloud computing environment. Now with Ansible also, you can automate cloud tasks, but when you have Terraform, you can maintain the cloud state. Your entire cloud infrastructure state you can maintain in Terraform. Any changes you do through Terraform automatically. Okay, so Terraform more focuses on cloud computing, Ansible more focuses on system administration tasks. Okay, so there's a huge difference. So using Ansible and Terraform today are the best combination, plus Jenkins plus AWS. Okay, these four are the best combination today. Yeah, that was the answer. Got it, Shubham?
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Imran. Just one thing, like this, people say that Ansible is good for configuration management. So what I understand from the automation part is that both are like infrastructure as a code. So I can also say Terraform as a configuration management tool.
Yes.
Okay.
See, configuration management is a very broad term actually, Shubham. It's a very broad term, then Ansible also comes in that, Terraform also comes in that, then any automation tool comes in that. Configuration management is you have an infrastructure, you have a configuration of your infrastructure, you're maintaining that in a code. Okay, so any infrastructure changes is maintained by a code. You make a code change, you run it, and the infrastructure changes. So entire configuration you are managing centrally by code. That's configuration management. Okay, so
that's like one of the feature.
Other than automation. Broad terminology, I said. Lot many tools comes in that. Broad terminology. Okay. Ansible also comes in that, and Terraform also comes in that.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Thanks.
Yeah, hello? You can call me Imran. You don't need to call me sir. That's fine.
Okay, sir. Imran, after completion of this course, there is any certification by DevOps or Visualpath?
Man, I'm getting this question nowadays. Seriously, this and the reason I laugh, you'll understand now. See, I have done lots of certification, in this field. Okay, and I have not done any certification from any training institute. I have done certification from Red Hat, AWS, right? These providers, and their certification are valid in the market. I can put it in my resume. I can show it to my clients, my customers, right? But when you talk about a certification given to by a training institute, that doesn't add any value. I mean, I can write a certification and give it to you. How much value it will add in your resume? I have to be at that level at Red Hat, AWS, Microsoft level to give you a certification, right? So let's get real, right? My certification may not add any value to you. If you're going for an interview where the interviewer is my student, then it's fine. Okay. So don't focus on certification given by training institutes. They don't add any value. Okay. Learn technology certification. You want to do, there are different vendors like AWS, Microsoft, Red Hat, different vendors from where you can do different certification on a technology. There is no certification for DevOps. This certification for technologies. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Hi, Imran.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi Imran. Yes, this is Anusha. Just before I have
Yeah.
worked in like BPO site. Right now I want to move to this like development site, like where there will be a better future. So just I'm having like idea about testing side. Testing I'm just I
Uh-huh.
have learned the manual testing, so that can it will be useful for me to learn the DevOps, because I'm not having any idea about the Linux or this
Your
like
voice
what are
is
the topics.
breaking.
Okay, my voice is breaking. Just
Anusha,
wait a
your
minute.
voice is breaking.
Okay, just wait a minute. Yeah, just
Go
before I
ahead, go
have
ahead.
worked
It's
on
clear now.
yeah, before I have worked on BPO site, and just I have learned the
Uh-huh.
course like a manual testing. I'm having an idea about manual testing, like
Okay.
how to write the test case and everything, like about
Mhm.
Agile Model and that. Now,
Mhm.
just actually, just if you want to look on your career into
Again,
manual
your
side,
voice is
because
breaking.
my voice is like I
Is it
think there is
breaking
a
only
signal.
for me, guys, or even you are hearing this? Other people?
No, we are clearly audible.
Oh, I don't know why it's breaking for me. Okay, Anusha, I think your question, I think I got it. You are a manual tester and you
Yeah,
want to get into development side, you said, right?
yes, because in the, on the
Okay.
yes, because in the manual testing there won't be any growth. So I
Of
want to
course,
move
there
to
is
this
no
like
none.
DevOps.
Forget about manual testing now. Either you get into automation testing or you get into development or you can get into DevOps. Okay. If you want to get into development, this course is not right for you. This is DevOps course, not development course. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to get into development side, because
Oh,
I want to
okay.
learn like Linux and I want to get into DevOps. So it
Okay.
will be suitable for me because I'm not having
So,
any idea about the topics what you have said in
don't
the
worry,
demo
don't
class.
worry. The course starts from very beginning and very scratch. Okay, from the beginning, you are going to learn on Linux. Right. So you have to, in first 15 days, you have to be very serious. You have to religiously practice every exercise that I give you. Okay,
Okay.
and then you can understand yourself that you can pull this off. Okay, first 15 days is going to be really make and break for people who has no skills, very new to DevOps. Okay, see, I'm not going to tell you that this is easy. If you want to pull this DevOps lifecycle through a course, you have to invest a lot of time, guys, everyone. Okay, I'm going to give you exercises, but it's going to be all worth, trust me. At the end of the course, you would have learned a lot which you can brag in the interview, right? But you have to be very serious and put a lot of efforts. Okay, that is for everyone.
Okay.
Don't worry if you're a total newbie. This course is for total newbie, and even if you have some experience, right? And this, I even have managers and different testers and DB guys in the classrooms, right? So everyone will benefit. We'll start from a very scratch, so you do not worry. You're in safe hands. But all I need from you is practice, practice, and practice. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Manoj, so anybody who wants to get into DevOps for DevSecOps or DevOps for software testing, okay, actually, currently we are also bringing in one new course, DevOps for software testers. It will be out in a month. So I'm working out with the software testers and training them on every parameters of DevOps. If you are a security professional or anything, anywhere you want to implement DevOps, you definitely need to have a lot of skills on DevOps first. Okay, CI/CD pipeline, the cloud computing, all of that. Uh, okay, I did a mute because I was hearing some background noise. Okay, to everyone. So if you want to get into DevSecOps, you need to know DevOps first, and then you have your security concept which you can integrate together. In AWS also gives you a lot of application security and system security, infrastructure security tools and technology. So you can learn AWS security specialist course also later after this course. But in any case, you need to start with DevOps. Okay, very basics of DevOps, right? So that's for you, Manoj. Tawfiq, one second. A previous question. I'm 2016 past. I'm working in Amazon as an operations, so I have learned basics of Python, but I'm worried if the companies will hire me because of me being tenured employees in ops field. Nah, that doesn't matter, man. People, if you doesn't matter you're from which background, okay? Everyone in the DevOps comes from different background, okay? See, you throw that thought out of your mind, okay, whether they'll hire me or not. There are different strategies for different organizations. Some focus is more on a developer. They want a DevOps who had development experience. Some focus is on you need DevOps who had testing experience. Some focus is on DevOps who need operational experience. Okay, so you have places, so many organizations implementing DevOps for a different perspective. So whatever background you had, it's an added advantage, not a disadvantage. Okay, like I have created a team of DevOps. I have a tester who is a DevOps. I have a security professional who is a DevOps. I have a developer, she's a DevOps. Okay, that's actually the most amazing team of DevOps. Okay, this team can automate everything. So organization will need people from different background, and not just because DevOps, the momentum has started now. And I know it's been from a long time, but momentum has started now. So people are coming from different background. Okay, it's all valid and advantage. Hi, I recently completed my BTech. I don't have knowledge in coding. Can I understand DevOps topic without knowledge in coding? You don't need to have coding knowledge to understand DevOps. Okay, the eligibility we are covering in 2 areas in our course. Just a moment. So, see, step 1 is the eligibility for people who are from non-ops background, like I think Anusha was saying, right? So Anusha will benefit in step 1 a lot. Bonus sessions, scripting. Okay, people who are from an ops background don't have much knowledge in scripting. Okay, they're going to benefit it from this session, this step 4. Okay. I'm working as assistant admin. This course will be helpful, of course, very much, guys. If you're any kind of admin, okay, any kind of admin or support work you're doing, I recommend you move quickly and start learning automation. I'm not telling you to learn my course only, but learn any kind of automation, okay, in your existing, because you will be out of job, sorry to say, in some time if you are still doing things manually. Okay, if you have doubt in what I'm saying, just make your own Google search, see how automation is revolutionizing everything. Okay, you will be out of job in some time if you are still doing things manually. Okay, so, and I'm not saying so you can join my course, do join any course, anything, but learn automation as much as whatever area you are in, learn automation. Okay, this is for everyone. Can I skip the coding part, or is it mandatory to learn? It is mandatory. Don't get scared on coding. It's not rocket science, man. Okay, plus we are not going to do a lot of programming. You'll have good hands-on programming, scriptings to say, which you're going to use in learning Ansible, Terraform, CloudFormation, CDK, anything in the future. Okay, so don't try to skip anything. In my course, nothing is skippable. I don't know if that even a word. Okay, so you cannot skip anything in my course. You can skip only if you know that already. Okay, so no skipping. Are all DevOps tools will work on all cloud providers? Yes. Nowadays, it's all heterogeneous environments. So Ansible, you have a lot of modules that supports in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Terraform supports Azure, Google Cloud, even Alibaba Cloud, which is just new. So it's all heterogeneous environment now, and one tool supporting many things. Okay, not all the DevOps tool I'm saying, right, but most of them, right? So if we talk about containers, containers are for Linux environment and Windows environment. Here we are not talking about the cloud, but when you deploy it, and you can deploy the containers on Azure, AWS, Google Cloud. What else? Jenkins. Jenkins is a common tool, man. You can be using from anywhere, any place. Okay. Are you covering REST API? Why? No, we are not covering REST API. Why would we cover REST API? There are SDKs. Ansible has Boto SDK. Terraform has its own SDK for different tools. Why do we need to use REST API? That's for the developer who develops an automation framework that we can use. Okay, we don't need to cover REST API. Okay, we're going to use tools that uses REST API. Okay, you don't need to get at that level. I have experience in C++ and Python, so would it be helpful if I go through the course for my career as experienced candidate in development? Yeah, I think I answered that question already, Ramya. Guys, if you put your question on the public chat, that will be much beneficial for other people also, for me also. So yeah, so as in helpful in this course, if you want to get serious into DevOps people, then do this course. Or if you want to have some hands-on experience in DevOps, you can do this course. But if your career goal is different, like you want to be a developer, you want to be a tester, or you want to be something, then you don't do this course. Okay, this is for a very serious DevOps knowledge. You have to spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, but finally you will be rewarded, okay, with all the knowledge. Right? Doesn't matter which background you have come from. I'm covering things for different backgrounds, right, in 2 places. So you do not worry about that. You're in safe hand. All you have to do is practice. 7 years ETL background in DevOps. Is DevOps good for my career? Oh, that I can't tell you, Krish, if it's good for you or not. Okay, I have given you 3 reasons. You have to decide whether you fit in those parameters. Okay, you would like to do development or testing or something else. Okay, you have to decide your goal. Okay, I'm giving you 3 reasons why you should learn DevOps. Okay, if your goal fit into this, you want to make money, you want to do something very creative, right? We can really enjoy. You want to be a star. DevOps is a star candidate, okay, in your organization. You want, again, if your goals really align with these goals, then only do. Okay, don't unnecessarily, if someone is forcing you to do DevOps, don't do. Look at your inclination. Business analyst and DevOps are very 2 different things. You can't compare that, Hemant. Yeah, DevOps is not a tool that has an expiry date, like Puppet, Chef. These are tools that has expiries. Ansible has expiry. Terraform will have expiry. Okay, these are tools. So we don't focus on tools. Yes, we learn a lot of tools, we implement them. DevOps is about delivering code changes quickly and efficiently. Okay, so it's a strategy. Okay, moreover, it's a philosophy. So that doesn't have an expiry date. Like Agile is there for like what, more than a decade now. It has not expired because it's not a tool or a technology that can expire, right? So automobile is a concept, right? But if you talk about a car product, that has an expiry. Okay, people may not like it after some time, but automobile is going to be there forever, right? Different things will change. Today we are driving, tomorrow maybe we'll be flying, who knows, right? But automobile is going to be there as long as human are there. Oh, so this course is going to take 50 days around, like that, working days. You can see around 2 months. It's going to be very much hands-on, guys. So you need to practice a lot of things. Every day you will get exercises. Don't worry, I'll give you free time also for practicing. Some Saturdays will take sessions. Some Saturdays will take off. Okay. So, and I will be asking you questions every now and then. There'll be surprise quizzes in the course, so you can judge yourself. Where are you standing? Okay. Every time I'll try to poke you with different questions, so you will get a curiosity. Okay. It's starting next week, guys. Maybe by Wednesday. Okay, you'll get an information today or tomorrow. Today you'll get the information when it is starting. Okay. Oh, hey, also, let me show you send you different other links also. Watch this video, guys. This is going to be awesome. Few other videos link I'm sending you, or you can subscribe to the Visualpath channel. What is DevOps immersion? Okay, yeah, this is an animated view of what I covered in DevOps. Okay, click the link. Maybe you'll get more excited what really is DevOps. Okay, I have created this. No, I'm not an animator, but I spent some time, but I did this. Okay, you can subscribe to the channel and have more amazing videos like that. Okay, continuous integration, continuous delivery. Subscribe. You're going to get lots and lots of videos. Yeah, back to question. Yeah, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. How much is this course? Like time or money, Theo? Theo, wow, that's a nice one. I heard it somewhere. Oh, my team will contact you, or you can put your mail ID and phone number in the organizer chat. Don't put it in public chat. They'll contact you, inform about everything, fees, timing, everything. Okay.
Hi Imran, this is Vamsi.
Yeah, Vamsi.
So, so we have the view profile application. So, are we going to see any database deployments? Like, do we have any database as a code?
Very small database we have. This is not project that will be used by real users. Very small SQL queries we have. Okay, but you will see
Okay.
we are going to do automation on that. Like that, any kind of database if you want to run, you can use tools like Ansible and other tools or even scripting to run your queries. Okay.
Okay. So, and one more
But we
doubt.
are not focusing much on database deployment and database delivery. Okay, we are focusing
Okay.
automation in general, and you can use that approach to do any kind of automation. At the end of the day, it's going to be some commands running on the systems. Okay, and you need to know how to automate that. That's the whole idea.
Yes. And do we have the blue green deployments, canary deployments? Are we going to see only these kind of deployments with AWS CI/CD, or can we
So
do
we are
can
going to
we
see
see
that in
with Jenkins
AWS
also?
part 2. We are going to talk in AWS part 2. We're going to talk about that, where we have Beanstack and Route 53. That time I will show you how blue green deployment and A/B testing are done. Okay, these are
What?
concepts look so serious, but doing it is really very simple on AWS.
What I'm asking is, can we see that with Jenkins also? Can we see with Jenkins, and can we test whether we don't have any downtime?
See,
So can we
Jenkins
do?
is more focused on continuous integration tool. Okay, you can use
Yes.
Jenkins to do that, but it's going to be very complicated. You have a better technology. You can integrate Jenkins with any AWS services today. Okay, by using
Okay.
SDK. So it's about just a trigger. Okay, you're going to trigger
Yeah.
that. You can trigger it from Jenkins, or you can trigger it from AWS. You can trigger it from your script. Okay, it's going to be a few commands that needs to be run. Like for example, AWS CLI command you can run from Jenkins. It's no big deal. You just need to install a plugin and you need to mention what you have to run. Okay, that
Okay.
route first
Yeah.
traffic to this site, 10% of the data, the traffic should go over here. So it's going to be a DNS change, a simple DNS change. It's going to be 1-2 commands which can accomplish blue green deployment or A/B testing for. Okay,
Yes.
I'm saying right, doing it is very simple. The concept is amazing, but doing it is very simple by using cloud services. But if you have
Yeah.
your own data center, you have your own DNS services, then you need to run your own commands. That also you
Yes.
can execute from Jenkins or Ansible or Terraform. Okay.
Okay.
Remember, at the
Yes.
end of the day, it's gonna be some commands you need to run from somewhere.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. If you're talking about AWS specifically, if you're talking about AWS and Jenkins together, then from Jenkins you need to run some AWS commands, AWS like by using AWS CLI or some SDK for AWS. So it's going to get executed on AWS, but will execute it from Jenkins.
Jenkins. Yes.
Yeah. So this
And
integration, right? What we're talking about, we are going to focus a lot on integration in this course.
yes. And are we going to integrate any security tools in the Jenkins pipelines, like for
No, not in
DevSecOps?
Jenkins pipeline. We are doing actually code analysis, security code analysis from the Jenkins by using Jenkins, the OWASP, and what you call it, SonarQube server. You can do code analysis. It's going to alert a lot of things security related on the code. And in AWS, we are going to be focusing on security groups, NACL, key pairs, VPC, private subnets. So many security concepts we have involved because I'm already a security professional AWS security professional. So I try to I integrate so many security concepts. Where is that? Yeah. So I try to implement so many security concepts in the course, and I'm going to train you on that. I will not let you create an environment that is exposed. Okay.
Okay. Yes. And so whenever we are deploying our applications, what the vProfile application, so are we going to use only
Mhm.
Linux here, or will we see deployments on the Windows
Only
servers
Linux,
also?
only Linux. Windows we are going to use for running the software testing only, Windows
Okay.
Server and AWS. But apart from that, it's all Linux.
Okay. But if you want to deploy on the Windows servers, is the concept will be the same, or
Yes,
do
yes,
we
of
need to?
course. Same. See, in Ansible, you have modules to execute tasks for Linux system. Similar module you have Windows modules also. Okay, I'll run you through documentation. If you want to do it for Windows, you can do it for Windows also. Okay, vProfile project you can implement it on Windows machine also, no problem. Okay, it's open. It's a free product that we have developed. You can use it to do your own wild things, whatever you think of, right? And it's supported on different versions of Linux, different versions on Windows. You can do it on Windows also.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good thought. I will put that project in the new product that we created. We created DevOps Projects. So I will take a note on that. Actually, I'll create a project for that.
Because our client, we have been working for some project where we have clients, they deploy on Windows servers. So that for that sake, I'm asking.
Sure. Okay. I have taken that as a feedback, and I'm going to create that project. Once you subscribe to our project videos, you will get that for sure in 2 months. By 2 months. Okay. By the time you complete the course, I think that will be ready. Windows.
Yeah, I will be happy for that.
Profile. Sure, man. Actually, this project repository that I have created. Okay, I have shared the link also with you.
Okay. So is it a kind of heavy application or it's a sample application that we can run even on our laptop?
You can run it on your laptop, AWS Cloud, Azure, Google Cloud, Container, Docker, anywhere.
So if I want to run us on Vagrant boxes.
Vagrant boxes, we are going to start over there, Vagrant boxes, and then we're going to move it to AWS Cloud. We're going to re-architecture it and do multiple things actually. Okay,
for the configuration, do I need any configuration laptop I need for running that? So
no,
I had 8 GB laptop. Is it sufficient?
How much you have?
It's 8 GB RAM.
More than enough actually. I did it on 4 GB also by reducing the RAM size. Doing it, okay? So I tested it on different laptops also, so don't worry.
Okay.
Prerequisite I will cover when the course start, right? The first day is going to be about prerequisites.
Okay.
So where I'll tell you what all you need to have. Okay?
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Imran.
Just check that link, the last YouTube video link. We've created the project and I've taken your feedback. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, come again. What's your name?
Yeah, it's Vamsi.
Yeah. So I've taken your feedback on Windows deployment for vProfile. Okay, that's going to be the next project that I'm going to be putting over there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's 1.5 hours. Went long. Anyways, I think I answered your questions, guys. Any more questions you have? Okay, if you later even if you get any questions, feel free to contact my team. If you want to talk to me, they will arrange a conference. All right, so feel free to call, contact, and mail. Please send your details to my team so they can contact you. You'll get an email also now with the video of the demo today. Few other links, the book link also that you can download. All right. So thank you very much for joining the demo. Glad you've seen it till the end.
Hey, thank you very much for watching the video. You are awesome. Join me for more awesomeness. If you like the video, press the like button, subscribe for more latest updates like this, and hit the bell icon so you get constant updates.